This is the JR Wisdom channel. I appreciate you guys tuning in once again. And let's just get right into it. Today I'm going to be discussing 4 things that a man must master in order to become a high value superior man, or as I like to call it, an ascended man. Now, we've been seeing this all over social media. We're talking about what is a high value man, what makes a high value man, what makes a woman attracted to a high value man, all these different things. But in order to even get close to that, you have to master some things. Otherwise, master, control, whatever you want to call them. Otherwise, these things will be used as leverage against you. It could be from outside forces. It could be used against you if you don't master one or the other. One could be used as leverage against the other. Just food for thought. So if you master and get control of these things, then you'll be at that point where you can just shrug it off. You'll be in that mode where nobody really can tell you anything because you are the captain of your ship at the end of the day. The sooner you figure these things out, the better. The quicker you'll ascend. So with that being said, the first thing is your emotions. Most of my videos, I harp on this. I talk about this constantly. A man cannot be controlled by his emotions, whether that be anger, sadness, anything that involves him losing his composure in any given moment that may cause him to make a decision in a split second that could affect him for the rest of his life. And a lot of us tend to do that, where we'll be living in the moment, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it helps overcome depression if you are, falling into that certain emotion, so to speak. But if you're in control of your emotions, some people will play off that and they'll use them against you. This can be women, this could be friends, this could be superiors, quote unquote, if you like to use that, managers, whoever. And that's those are some of the easiest people to control, is the ones that you're able to control their emotions. This is how advertising, marketing, all these other things play off of this. So if you're that guy who doesn't fall for the okie doke, or quote unquote okie doke in terms of that, and you're not able to easily get out of character, become neurotic, where any little thing that someone says to you can trigger you, set you off. If someone has that type of power or control over you, then you're really lacking. So that's where we need to look within as men to be able to control these things, be indifferent about certain things, and be passionate about others in that aspect. But don't get to the point where somebody is triggering you. You should be able to, when I say control, you should be able to observe your feelings instead of reacting to them. Once you learn to get to that point where you're able to observe them instead of reacting, that's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different, I don't want to say godlike complex, but you're truly ascended at that point where you can just shake things off and switch your vibe, switch your frequency, and things like that. The second thing I wanted to talk about was your finances. And like I said, a lot of these things will correlate as you hear me talking about them. When it comes to finances, a man has to be, in order to be a high value man, superior man, ascended man, you have to be in control of your finances. You can't just be living paycheck to paycheck. This doesn't mean that you have to be Scrooge McDuck and save every penny at the same time, if you get what I'm saying. You have to be able to manage your finances in a way where you're not begging or looking for someone to take care of you, i.e. another man or a woman to take care of you, or you're getting in relationships where you're dependent on a woman to take care of you or pay for things. And if she's no longer in the picture, you're no longer able to live that lifestyle or take care of whatever bills that you may have. You should have the ability to do. A superior man, with the funds that he does have, he's able to live the lifestyle that he wants to live. And that doesn't necessarily mean extravagant, wealthy lifestyle. It just means that he's able to live the lifestyle that he wants, go where he wants to go, eats the food that he wants to eat, partake in whatever he wants to partake in, and be with the women that he wants to be with. And you have to put yourself in a position in terms of that where you're able to allot the time and funds to be able to do that. whether that means that you're self-employment or you're making the right investments. So that's not necessarily, I'm not going to go into that in terms of this video, but you need to be in that position where you're not struggling and you're hoping to get this 10 out of 10 woman, quote unquote, but you don't have the funds to live that lifestyle, to even present yourself to gain that type of market value, so to speak. So the third thing, and we're in this pandemic situation, so a lot of us has fallen off. I'm not hitting the weights like I should either, but you should be in control of your appetite. And when I say appetite, I mean in terms of what it is that you're taking into your body, which ultimately reflects your health. You can control your health to a certain extent, and this goes with what it is that you're putting in your body. Control what you're taking in your body, because the older you get, your testosterone isn't being produced as much as it was when you were younger. So our metabolism isn't as fast as it should be, especially if we're not working out and we're consuming fast foods, all these fats and stuff, and we're just putting on weight, and it's affecting our health overall, where we're not able to be at tip-top shape or performance. So we have to get that under control, whether you're fasting, doing OMAD, basically cutting carbs, so on and so forth. Just be able to abstain from these things to where, and you realize just by you being in control of your appetite or being able to manage it, how you're able to control other things. But I feel like that's one of the most important things as well that you have to be in control of. And that, like I said, it can correlate with emotions and finances as well. So that's another thing, most definitely. The fourth thing that I feel that a man must be in control of and master is his sexual desires. When I say sexual desires, this is another thing that, based off what you see, because as men, we're visual creatures, and we can be influenced by just a woman walking down the street, or basically anything involving that industry. A lot of guys tend to trick off, which, like I said, they'll lose their finances based off tricking off, based off spending all their money on a woman, based off of going to strip clubs, things like that. And before you know it, they're broke, or broke every week, or they end up getting themselves in a situation where a woman blows your socks off and you go to marry her. Next thing you know, within a couple months, you'll be broke through a divorce or whatever else have you. So so many guys have made decisions, whether that be bringing about children, that I wouldn't say that they didn't want them, but not in that moment of passion, for lack of a better term. They ended up with children where it could have been prevented. And that's another bill for some who may not have wanted those children, based off that current sexual desire, based off not strapping up, things like that. And they put themselves in a position or ended up in that position. Just things. Men, when you control your sexual desires, a woman can't use that or weaponize that thing against you. And I can't say that enough. Once you get to that point where you're indifferent in terms of that indifference basically almost brings it passively without you having to concentrate on it. That's one less worry you have to concern yourself with. A lot of guys, they spend most of their days going on social media here, like YouTube as well, how to do this, how to do that, and it's in terms of getting a woman, or how do I attract this woman, or how do I make her desire me more, instead of focusing. This is for the guys who haven't mastered everything else, but still, if you're on your purpose and focused on what you got going on in your life, you don't have any time to worry about what a woman is or isn't doing. And this is what makes you superior. This is what makes you ascended. This is what makes you high value. This is what makes you that dude at the end of the day. And I can't say that plainly enough. This especially goes to you younger guys who are just out now getting out in the game. And even for you older guys who may be, slacking on your Mac and simping and your pimping. maybe backsliding into your old ways. So with that being said, I hope this video has been helpful. If you feel like it'll be helpful to someone else, please feel free to share it. If you like the content, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Comment your thoughts on this as well. Subscribe. I invite you to subscribe if you haven't yet. Gently hit the subscribe button along with the bell. That way you receive all of the notifications for all of my future videos. And you should see some videos popping up here right now. If you want to know more information on this topic that I'm discussing, feel free to click on them. And with that being said, peace be upon you and the mercy and blessings of the Almighty. And remember, anything lost can be found again except for time wasted. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.